The OHIO silhouette, a familiar sight to any fan of The Ohio State University. But if you look closely, you'll see there's a lot more here than initially meets the eye. It turns out the picture is a composite of tiny, meticulously hand-drawn images detailing the entire history of the Buckeyes. Can you spot Coach Tressel? He's here. A little further down, you'll find track star Jesse Owens, and over on this other figure, a representation of the Ohio Marching Pride. There's even a scene of the band performing their famous Script Ohio. This piece of art and the others like it are the work of Chris Nix.
You kind of have to hold it a little bit and kind of actually see it.
Inside his basement studio near Pittsburgh, Nix spends his days hunched over a desk creating his so-called visual biographies. He says each one represents about 6 months of work.
Really, you take a month or two of intense research, learning all you can about a subject, and then after you collect all the information, usually ends up about 30 pages of research or something like that. Then I take all that research and I put it onto a single piece of paper that then tells the story of the overall subject.
The subjects range from Italy, Ireland, and wine to prominent sports figures like the Steelers' Troy Polamalu.
He was on the Madden cover in 2010. Troy's house, there's Heinz Field. He went to Douglas High School up there.
Many of the subjects of Nix's collages own their own copies, and some, like Steelers coach Mike Tomlin, even autograph one for him.
Supposedly he has his in the practice field.
And I can't remember what this bottle is here.
Nix came up with the collage idea while searching for a Father's Day gift for his dad, Lee. At the time, he was working as a civil engineer.
He got laid off, and he didn't have much money, and so he decided that he was going to do a collage of the Steelers, and gave it to me. It's a 16 by 20. I have that original at home. He gave that to me as a gift.
It wasn't long before everyone who saw it wanted a copy, and the light bulb went off in Nix's head.
We took some copies, went to the first craft show. It started at 9. By 11 o'clock, we were sold out. Chris had to call his wife to have more prints made and bring it to the craft show.
Nix sells copies of the collage he made for his dad, and they still contain a few of their inside jokes.
There's the Family Guy.
The Family Guy. Oh, there's a bottle of Jim Beam.
Today, Nix sells his collages full-time at art shows and on his website, chrisnix.com. His biggest expense, you guessed it, pens.
It gets down to about 3 horsehair. The micron pens that I use, it gets down to about 3 horsehair, very, very tiny. So I can go through easily 100 to 200 pens drawing one.
Besides the constant search for pens, Nix says his 2 biggest challenges are deciding what to draw next.
A lot of people ask, can you do this subject? Can you do a Justin Bieber or something crazy like that? I can't spend 3 months of my life learning everything I can about Justin Bieber.
Who could?
You're right.
And making sure that when he does decide, he doesn't leave anything important out.
If I do an Ohio State one, for an example, and someone says, oh, did you put this in there? The answer always has to be yes. That's why there's such the intense research to make sure anybody that asks, is this in there, I need to be able to say yes.
Because the collages are so labor-intensive, Nix keeps the originals and sells the prints. But that doesn't mean each isn't unique.
Because the creation costs are so much, because it takes months to create them, I try to leave a tiny bit of space in them so they can be personalized. So if you are a big fan of Heinz Ward, or if your son is in the Marines, I've left space in some of them so I can add and personalize that for that person. So they can then look at it and they see the 3 to 4 months of work, but then they also see their names and also some personal things inside.
And as his father can attest, it's that personal touch that makes all the difference.
And I've had people say, hey, would you be willing to sell it? I said, I can't put a price on that one.
And I think that's why people enjoy it a lot. Not very many things are handmade, hand-created anymore.